Hello there, happily married woman. It is Dr. Siobhan Parad here, and I wanted to come on and talk with you a little bit about something. So I have this question posted with this live stream. Is your husband responsible for your feelings? So it's an interesting question. I hope you think it's interesting. I want to tell you a little story. So I got this idea just tonight, and I wanted to come on real quick and just share some of the thoughts that ran through my head and how I was able to apply it to marriage. So I don't know about you, but I have, two little ones that most of you guys know by now. And so between the hours of like 6 to 9 is like total chaos, right? Between cooking dinner, getting people fed, getting people bathed, reading bedtime stories, putting everyone to bed. Like, there is more I do in those 3 hours probably than what I do in the entire day. And my patience is usually pretty low. And tonight, for some reason, I had tacked on like other things in addition to the regulars. I had tacked on all these other tasks that I needed to do in preparation for some things I have coming up later in the week. And so, I'm giving my daughter a bath, and by now it's probably like 8:20, 8:30, and I have somewhere that I need to be on a phone call at 9. And so, I'm like rushing to give her a bath, and we're sitting there, and she is about to be 3. So for those of you who have young children, you know exactly what a 3-year-old is like. And for those of you who have older children, maybe you remember what your 3-year-old was like. So she's giving me a hard time, to say the least, in the bathtub. And, I feel myself getting like agitated. Like, I can actually feel it in my body when I'm stressed out and overwhelmed and just I'm trying to do too much, which is exactly what was happening tonight. So my patience was like this much. So, we're in the bathroom, and, I feel all this frustration coming, and I'm like, listen, I was like, mommy is so stressed out right now. Like, I need you to be good. Like, I need you to just do what I need you to do. And it was almost like I had an out-of-body experience where I could see, myself having this conversation with a 3-year-old, and I could see how, as the words were coming out of my mouth, how absolutely ridiculous it was, right? That I had created all of this stress on my own, right? I have my instant Facebook Messenger going off. I've got text messages going off. I've got email dings going off. I've got, calls I'm supposed to be on that I can't be on. I've got calls that I'm going to that I'm, still trying to prepare for. And it's created all of this stress and overwhelm for myself. And I'm looking to her to fall in line so that I don't get more stressed out. It's like somehow it's her responsibility to reduce my stress. It's her responsibility to sort of make things easier for me because I've created this chaos for myself this evening. And, as I was saying those words to her, like, I'm so stressed out, you need to do X, Y, and Z, it really made me think about how often that's the same mindset and the same sentiment we have when it comes to our husbands, that we have these internal struggles, issues, voids, whatever the case may be, and we look to him to be able to just like make it okay by the way he acts, by the things he says, by accommodating us. And, as I was having that conversation with my daughter, it was sort of like, God was saying to me, like, she's not responsible for your feelings. Like, how dare you put that on her? And of course, how dare I put that on her? She's a 3-year-old. Nobody would say that that's appropriate. But somehow, when it comes to our husbands, we give ourselves a pass. We give ourselves permission to put those types of things on him, to put those expectations on him, to put those assumptions on him that he's going to fall in line, know exactly what to do, how to respond to us, how to make us feel better for situations that we've created on our own. And we do it by overwhelming ourselves. We do it by creating stories in our head and perceiving things in certain ways that lead us to feeling bad. We make up meanings for things, we interpret situations in the worst possible ways a lot of times, and it just leaves us feeling bad, right? Whether that's stress you have on your job, stress and overwhelm you have in your household, or even just conflict between you and your husband. And so we get a little complacent and we get a little bit lazy, to be perfectly honest with you, in that we don't take responsibility for our own emotions. We don't take responsibility for our own reactions to things. And we want the other person to just fall in line, make it better, say the right thing at the right time, or be quiet at the right time so that we can then manage our emotions. And that's ridiculous. That's really, all I wanted to come on and say to you is like, that's ridiculous that your husband is not responsible for your feelings. For as much as you feel like he makes you happy on some days, he makes you sad and frustrated on other days, you are in 100% control of how you feel. Right? And I know we're women and I know we're emotional and we have hormones and all of that stuff. Yes, that plays a part. But I'm really talking about the blame we assign to him when we are frustrated with him, right? It's not really what he's doing. It's the way we interpret what he's doing, the way we choose to respond to what he's doing that's causing the, upset and conflict within ourselves. But that's our responsibility. And the sooner we can take responsibility for the stress that we create, for the overwhelm that we create, for the frustration that we create, then the quicker we can actually do something about it, right? So in that moment in the bathtub, like, there was nothing my daughter could really do to make me feel better. It was my own mindset, and I had to like pace myself and just get through one thing at a time and focus. But that required me to think differently about the situation and not to attribute, my stress and any blow up that was like, trying to bubble up by attributing that to her. That would be completely unfair. And I just want you to consider the same thing with your husband. Are you being fair in what you expect of him as it relates to how you feel, right? Again, he's not responsible for your feelings. You are 100%. 100% of the time, no matter what is going on, you have the choice for how you interpret that situation. You have the choice for how you show up and react and respond to that situation. And so I just want to, encourage you to stop putting that on him, right? That it's your choice. It's your feelings. It's your mindset. And it's all on you at the end of the day. So I'd love to know what you think of this. Drop me a comment. Say, yeah, Siobhan, you're right. That was a dose of truth that I needed to hear. Or tell me, no, Siobhan, I don't buy it. And tell me why. And I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. So again, is he responsible for your feelings? You already know what my answer is, even before I said a word here. The answer is no. And I hope that you'll just take this to heart. So thank you for tuning in. I will drop back in with you really soon. And for those of you who are able to come to my event this Friday, I'm very much looking forward to seeing you. And if you're like, man, I'm missing out on all the fun and you'd like for me to come to your neck of the woods, let me know where you are. And I'd love to have a conversation and maybe we can figure something out so we can bring the real wife life to you. So thanks again for tuning in, and I will check you guys a little bit later. Bye.